Hello everybody, welcome back to another update video on the Bleach 5e book. As you can see here, we are now just over 19,000 views on the book. Wow, we are just about to hit 20,000 and it's great. I mean, every time, I don't know how many times I can say it, blows me away. I appreciate you guys, but thank you all for checking out the book, giving it a read, and having a good time with it, hopefully. I'm getting a lot of comments of how everyone's enjoying it, things that they're doing with it, and it's fantastic to hear. So good job to you guys on getting the book up to this many views, and I hope to hear more good things, more good experiences you guys are all having with the book. So let's move on over to the new changes for the book this time around. So here I'm gonna just read through the list of changes that were made, and then we're gonna go through each one with some examples of what exactly those changes did to the book. So I'm gonna start from the bottom. I removed Bounts from the book. So I don't think anybody was playing Bounts. I haven't received any feedback. I haven't been notified of anything regarding the Bounts. So it doesn't look like anyone was playing them at all. They're also for sure filler. So I put them in there just to kind of throw them in there. But, you know, seeing how most people are enjoying everything else, you know, Shinigami, the Quincy, and the Arankar, it doesn't look like Bounts is anywhere close to being as good as them. Or even wanted. So unfortunately they're gonna get removed. If later on down the road they, you know, if people want it to be added, I'll see about it. But at the moment they're gonna be removed, axed, easier time on me with balancing and save space in the book. And like as I said, at the moment they seem to be irrelevant. So starting now from the top. Each armament had wording changed so it's clearer if certain armament abilities stack or how they function with a summon. There's been some confusion on if certain armament abilities kind of work in tandem with one another and how they work with summons. For example, if someone had, barrier and summon, well, barrier says your, weapon turns into a armor, and summon says that your weapon turns into the summon. So what happens if you have both? So I'll show you some examples on how that gets cleared up. Next, new terms, ascended and ultimate. So similar to the word armament and released, which we'll go through later. Many armament abilities have additional effects added, which I think is pretty cool. Makes some abilities a little bit more unique. Next up, changed healing so it works for more than just Kaido. Updated the Fullbring armament, and of course this here is the new video. So let's go through each of these so you guys can see what exactly were the changes that were made. We're going to start here with one example with acid. Most of these have been kind of changed here and there, but this is the official change log that I'm making and going through as much of them to make this as universal as possible. So most of the abilities will now say your armament, like this here, your armament becomes pure acid, to really solidify and not be confused that your armament is turning into this and your armament's damage type is changed to acid. So whenever your armament is dealing damage, it's going to be changed to that type. So example, if you have acid and projectile, your projectile form, when it turns into the little ranged mode and you have this on, it's dealing acid damage. So wording should be changed throughout so you can see how, so it's clear if they work in tandem with another. Next example is barrier. As I just said, when released, your armament transforms into a suit of armor around you. This armor takes the form of any light armor from the plane, blah, 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 blah. If you have a summon when you activate this ability, you may have your summon gain the armor instead. So this now kind of changes. So it kind of works together. So if you want to pick barrier and summon, it can work, and then you can give your summon the armor instead of yourself. And a lot of these abilities have been updated and changed to match that as well. So that's the example, the first one with each armament wording being changed, so they all kind of work a little bit more cohesively together. Ascended and ultimate abilities. So let's read through it. Ultimate abilities are special armament abilities that are usually used as a last-ditch effort to win or turn the tides of a battle. Using one greatly drains your Ryukyu and comes at a great cost, usually stated by your class or armament. So before, this was basically called, so for example, for the Shinigami, their ultimates are Final Shikai. I'm trying to give each of the other classes, Fullbringer and Quincy, a ultimate ability, like a Final Shikai. So it's not just a Shinigami. However, I didn't want to call each of them, Final Shikai. So each one's going to have a different term, but those are considered ultimate abilities. That's what they're referring to. Next up is Ascended. So for Ascended, additionally, there are even more powerful abilities. These Ascended abilities can only be selected when stated by your class and can only be used while in an Ascended form. Each Ascended ability can only be used once per long rest unless the ability states otherwise. So a Quincy's Ascended form is their Vollständig, a Shinigami's Ascended form is their Bankai, and an Arrancar's Ascended form would be the Resurrection. So each term has been kind of, a universal term has been created, like Armament. So Armament refers to the Zanpakuto, a Halic Bogan, a Fullbring. It makes things a little bit easier. So things that were Bankai abilities, they will say Ascended abilities, or they'll have the Ascended tag on them. And they can only be picked up when something says you can pick up an Ascended ability. And then the ultimate abilities, they can only be used when something allows you to use an ultimate ability. So hopefully that makes things a little bit easier mechanically and a little bit more on my end for balancing and referring to certain things if something's an Ascended ability, something's ultimate, and makes things a lot cohesive. So let me know what you guys think about that. Let's move on over to the next one. Okay, so for the next two, many armament abilities have additional effects added and changed healing, so it works with more than just Kaido. This kind of will knock out two birds with one stone, because you guys can go through all of the different armament types and see, some new updates that I've gotten. Abilities got like more little things given to them, so they're a little bit more. So, for example, on healing factor, I believe it just went up to 3 here, but now another ability got added. Now, if you picked up healing factor 4 times, you are immune to diseases. So things like that. Lots of abilities got a little more things added to them. However, for healing, before, a lot of these used to only be with Kaido, which meant it only worked with Shinigami. So obviously not what I intended. I definitely wanted Fullbring and even Arrancar, if they wanted to pick up healing. So wording had to be changed. So the first one is you learn 2 new Kaido spells of your choice from the Shinigami spell list, or 2 spells from any other spell list that regain hit points or grant temporary hit points. So that should open it up to not having to just be a Shinigami. But if you're not a Shinigami, you pick this up, you can pick stuff up from the Shinigami spell list. So it opens that up to the other classes as well. Let's see. Next one is, for example, improve healing. When you cast a spell that restores or hit points or grants temporary hit points, it does that instead of, I believe it used to refer to just a Kaido. Here as well, a healing touch as part of this ability. You cast a Kaido spell or any other spell that regains hit points or grants temporary hit points. So before it was just Kaido spell, so that got added. So most of this here, that section here, got added. So it can be used with other spells instead of just Kaido if you don't have access, to the Kaido spell list, which is only just a Shinigami. So hopefully that helps out. Open up healing to be less restricted to one class, which was not intended. So let's move on over to the last one here, which is the Fullbring. Okay, so for the Fullbring, they now have Ultimus and Invictus. So Ultimus is now they get an ultimate ability, which is, basically their version of Final Shikai, and then Invictus, which is their form of Bankai. But the Fullbringers don't have a Bankai. Now, before you say, but Ginjo had a Bankai, that's because he was a substitute Shinigami, and he sucked Ichigo's abilities, which, I mean, I don't know if he had Bankai previously, or he then gained Bankai because he absorbed all that power from Ichigo. So, if you look at all the other Fullbringers, none of them go into Bankai, because that's a Shinigami thing. Okay? So, the Fullbringers don't have anything like that. I know the original D20 document of Bleach, which is where, this all kind of originated from, they had something similar to what I have here, like their version of Bankai, some Fullbring evolution. I wasn't a big fan of it. This is kind of similar to it, though. I would like to give them a Bankai form, but at the moment I don't have anything in mind. So if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments or shoot me a DM, because I definitely would like to give them something, because Quincy's out of the Volshantic, Shinigami with the Bankai, even the Arrancar with the Resurrection. So I'd like to give the Fullbringers something, but at the moment this is what they got. Starting from level 10, when you would select an Armament ability, you can choose Ascended abilities. While released, you're considered Ascended. You can only choose one Ascended ability per level. So that should help out with, as I said previously, with some cohesiveness, because some things will want you to be in Bankai or refer to you being Ascended. Refer to you being Ascended, and since they don't really have an Ascended form, when they're released, they're just considered Ascended for any of the abilities that would require that. So tell me what you guys think about that. Any suggestions you have, I'd like to hear it. Okay, guys, if you want to support me even further, there is a Patreon that you guys can, subscribe to. I have here 5 tiers. I used to have more tiers, but I kind of condensed them all, made things a little bit more streamlined, and updated the perks a bit, changed them around. So take a look at here. I think it's pretty good. As you can see, the most popular one is Captain. Captains get a lot of really good benefits. We run monthly one-shots, which are great fun. Most of it's a lot of testing. We've been doing a lot of boss battles, and I'll be getting around to trying to post those as soon as possible, but working on this book and work is, oh boy, busy. I think everything is at a pretty good price. I mean, I don't want to boast, but if you look at any other Patreons, they're pretty up there in price, and I think mine is one of the best priced Patreons around. So give it a look, see if you guys are interested in it. I know the Seated Officer tier gets access to the exclusive Discord. And then here, that's where we have all our one-shots, post any updates, and we talk about the book. I do have a very important announcement that I'm going to be making within the next few weeks. This Sunday, currently it's 22nd right now. This Sunday, 6 p.m. North American Pacific Standard Time, we are having the monthly Patreon group session, which is open to senior officers and above. I'm going to be announcing some big changes, and anybody who has access to that perk, we're gonna get a good sneak peek and help make some decisions on this big announcement that's going to be made. So if you want to be part of that, give it a, become a patron, and I'll see you there, and you'll see what we're talking about. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, ring that bell, leave a like, comment below, and that'd help me out with the algorithm. Pretty small channel here, trying to grow and get this book into more hands, and get more eyeballs on it. So I'd really appreciate for you guys to share it as well. Comment below with what you guys think of all the changes that were made, any suggestions you might have, any gripes you might have of current things within the book, some balance issues, whatever. Post it below, send me a message, or join the exclusive Discord via Patreon, and we can talk about it there. That's everything, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys with the next update video. Bye.